Good morning. This is Grandmaster Ware with Mount Tabor Grand Lodge YouTube channel. I'm coming to you this morning to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. And I hope you have a happy and safe New Year's. You know, I had planned on covering this topic 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. However, all things in due season, and the timing is always right. You know, we are 1 week away from the new year. The new year begins in 1 week. And so we have to acknowledge that today is so close to history that if we close our eyes, it just might, poof, be gone. So let us see if we can do as men are supposed to do and make some real solid decisions. Because 2025 is going to be a very good year for some. It's going to be a miserable year for others. But guess what? Here's the good news. The good news is you and I are in charge and responsible and will be held accountable for how 2025 manifests itself. So if we can do what we need to do preparatorily, then we're going to be prepared and we're going to thrive in 2025. So it's one of those things that we have to make the decision and we got to go to work. And it does not take forever and a day to make a decision. We got to get off of that because all we have to do is go to God in supplication, prayer and supplication, and ask. Ask properly, and then be quiet and let the Spirit give us our plan, our method, our strategy, and so forth. You see, all of this that I'm talking about right now is our mental state, because our mentality dictates how we approach life, how we act in our life, and the results that will come forth from our mental state. You know, the thoughts of man are to be purposeful, powerful, and propelling. God created man and everything else for a purpose. He gave him and them the power to fulfill their purpose. Man is the only living creature that has thinking and reasoning abilities. Every other animal operates off of instinct and training, conditioning. We can think, and man is happiest when he's in pursuit of a thing. But what he has to do first is think of that thing and then develop his vision, develop his strategy, and go after it. So peace, power, and prosperity has always been the goal for all people. Now, they might have different definitions, but peace, power, and prosperity is the key. And we need to recognize that whatever is done, it either hurts or helps someone else. You know, Mount Tabor Grand Lodge's mission statement is to elevate the moral and intellectual levels of all we come in contact with through correlated Bible and Masonic teachings, improving the spirit and the character of the man, and thereby elevating him to a godly level of peace, power, and prosperity, which has a positive effect upon mankind. And the operative word is mankind, not self. So, with all of that in mind, we want to focus in on the fourth of my 5 friends, which is why. Why are you alive? What are you to do with the time that you have left? Your why dictates how you feel when you wake up each morning. Are you dragging? Are you excited? Are you happy, which is circumstantial, or do you have joy? And that word joy, I heard the definition is, or when it's broken down, it says Jesus, others, and you. So you, me, and I are here for others. And we're the last one on the totem pole. Now, the good thing about it is, in the Word of God, it says, and the first shall become last, and the last shall become first. So, with all of that being said, we need to realize that we are here for somebody else, and none of us have a lock on anything, because everything on God's green earth is temporary. So, why are you here? What are you supposed to do? He gave us a purpose. We have to identify the purpose, and then we have to see and determine why we should go after the purpose, other than the fact that God gave it to us. But the bottom line is, what effect is that going to have on mankind? We got to increase our territory and the concentration of our territory. In other words, we need to seek to help our fellow man. That's what Masonry is all about. And no man has a lock on God. No man has a lock on Jesus. No man has a lock on Freemasonry. Because if I remember correctly and understood what I read, in my book of law, my sacred volume of sacred law, which is the Holy Bible, God came so that we can have life and have life more abundantly. He didn't come for white. He didn't come for black. He didn't come for rich or poor. He came so that we, man, could have it. And the bottom line is, all we got to do is seek him out. And that's what this season is all about. And if we're blessed and fortunate enough to cross over into 2025, we're supposed to be set and fit for battle. Now, when you go into battle, you have a couple of choices. You can take some soldiers or you can take some warriors. I personally, as one Grandmaster said, I would rather have 10 warriors than 100 soldiers. I heard where this general was they were going to take this island, and when they got off the boat, they took their boats to the land on the seashore, and then he told them to burn the boats. The warriors understood the strategy. A soldier said, well, why are we burning the boats? Because if we do, we don't have a way to get back. And the general told them, we didn't come here to go back. We came to conquer. And that's the way we have to operate in our life. However, understand this. Everything we do has an effect upon somebody else. So when we talk about why do you do the things you do? And why you should do the things you do or other things. It is so that others may benefit. The clearest example I can give you is you go and you buy a car. You buy a car so you can transport your family. You can go to work. Well, guess what? There's a salesman waiting for you to come buy the car. Then there's a manufacturer waiting for the salesman to sell the car. And then there are mechanics waiting for you to drive it and break it. So everybody is dependent on everybody. We are interdependent creatures. And so with that in mind, let's say, who are your actions going to benefit? Because somebody's waiting for you to do what you need to do, what you choose to do, so that they can do what they need to do. In that example, you're buying the car so you can feed your family. The salesman sold the car so he can feed his family. The insurance agent that sold you insurance on the car is waiting for you to buy the car, insure it, so he can feed his family. The mechanic is waiting for you to drive it because it's going to break, so he can feed his family. Everybody's waiting on everybody. So when you start tearing down your brother, when you start tearing down other people, you just might not understand what the real deal is. You might not understand what effect your actions or the detrimental effect your actions are having on someone else. So consider your fellow man in 2025, and I think you will see your life elevated. You will be happier. You will have joy because you understand your effect upon society and the community. So it's a whole bunch of principles involved in what I'm talking about, and there's a whole bunch of supporting principles that I have not even touched. Okay? But let's go back to why. Number one, God gave us all a purpose. And in Isaiah 46:10, it says, I will accomplish my purpose. And the only way you're going to do that is apply Romans 12:2 to your life, where it says, do not be conformed to this world. And on and on and on. Okay? So look it up. Read it. I want you to read it for yourself and then dissect each word. Okay? When it says, do not be conformed to this world, but be ye conformed to, etc., etc., etc. You know, we can tell you everything, and it goes in one ear and out the other sometimes. But when you read it, that's how things enter into your spirit. So, God did put us here for a purpose, for a reason. He has good plans for us, positive plans. Jeremiah 29:11 tells you God has plans of good and not evil for each of us. However, we have to be worthy of receiving those plans and the manifestation of those plans. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we learn how to walk upright and virtuously. So, Mother Teresa said one of the big mistakes, one of the big problems in the world is that we don't understand that we all belong to each other. So, there again, search yourself and recognize your biases, your racial tendencies and thoughts, and understand that you are here for whomever you see as you go to and fro. Now, what does all of that have to do with Merry Christmas? Well, if you start now with a feeling of thankfulness and gratefulness and take that into the new year, you're going to be much better off. Masonry is a handmaiden to the Bible. We're not a religious organization, but we are spiritual people that care about one another. And that's the way Masons and Eastern Stars should work. So again, you have different denominations of religion, but they are serving God. You have different jurisdictions in Masonry, but they all are there to aid and assist the volume of sacred law in bringing the world together. So individually, we gotta flush our biases and have a Merry Christmas and wish everybody we see a Merry Christmas. I've never bought into the Happy Holidays. Okay, I'm not concerned with being politically correct, if you will. So, with all of that said and done, have a Merry Christmas, have a safe New Year's Eve, and have a prosperous new 2025. Thank you. You can contact us. Look at our About section about Mount Tabor Grand Lodge, and your comments and support is welcome and appreciated. And for those that do criticize, the haters and all that good stuff, I just want you to know I remove, delete, and forget it. Okay? Because the mission is to reach out positively to our fellow man. And that's what we seek to do at Mount Tabor Grand Lodge. So if somebody want to criticize us, well, guess what? they're wasting their time. Thank you very much.